After a long and painful summer of negotiations, Jonathan Kuminga and Golden State were finally able to agree on a contract where Kaminga would extend for a 2-year, $48 million deal. And after getting past this, I think some fans were hoping that this would be a new chapter for the Warriors and Kaminga. But just 28 games into the season, Kaminga's minutes are again up and down. There's been games where he's starting, coming off the bench, while also having consecutive DNPs. In this video, we're going to look at what exactly is going on with Jonathan Kuminga. Is it the fit in Golden State, him not buying into his role, or are there legit problems to his game? Now, before we dive into what's really going on this year, I first want to jump back to the start of 2024, because in the second half of that season, Jonathan put together a 34-game stretch where he was averaging an efficient 20 points per game. And over that stretch, it looked like he was on track to becoming a clear-cut all-star in the coming years. Now, when jumping back and looking at the stats and film from that span of games, Kaminga was doing his damage from 3 distinct spots: transition, attacking rotations off the catch, and cutting. First, if Jonathan got a head of steam with the ball, he was easily one of the toughest guys in the league to deal with. He can explode with either hand, he has really good ball control, plus he can cover a ton of ground with different strides. Whenever he got the defense backpedaling, he was just great at using that length and lift to teleport up and find finishes. And in that 2024 season, the efficiency in the open court was really good. And then in the half court, he kept that same simple and direct approach. Off the catch, he was always looking to run through the pass and knife his way towards the basket. And then if the defense sent extra help from the weak or backside, he could also stop short and pop these in-between jumpers. And the rhythm and flow that he had on these shots was really good. And because he was sharing the court with 3 high IQ players like Steph Curry, Chris Paul, and Draymond Green, he was getting countless of opportunities to cut. And again, plays like this feed into what his strengths are. The guy is long, quick, and super vertical. So considering how Kaminga already had this much talent and feel at 21, it kind of felt like the sky was the limit for him going forward. But then in the following year, things for him kind of fell off the tracks. Both his impact and playing time was up and down. And halfway through this season, he also missed 30 games due to an injury. But in general, since coming back last year and playing into this year, I feel like Kaminga's play on the court has been going in the wrong direction. And the question is, what exactly happened? Well, I think the first thing that's pretty clear to me is that as the years have gone by, Kaminga wants the ball in his hands more. For example, in that 2024 season, exactly 9% of Kaminga's total usage was out of pick and roll. But this year, that's jumped up to 22%. And the thing is, I don't think Kaminga playing with the ball more out of pick and roll really feeds into what his strengths are. Like we went over, Jonathan is at his best when he really leans into those physical tools by again playing in transition, cutting off the ball, or attacking rotations. But him going at a set defense off a live dribble isn't really what his game is. First, when attacking from his stance with defenders in his airspace, he does have a hard time channeling all that explosiveness. He'll often have these awkward and clunky drives towards the basket, which either leads to turnovers or really bad overall shots. Off the bounce, Kaminga also doesn't have a dynamic handle. He'll often play with the ball back and forth and not create space or set up any meaningful attacking angles. The Cavs here are going to switch the screen, and he's again playing with the ball back and forth, but to me it looks pretty stiff and awkward, and he can't create a clean blow-by here. And because Kaminga needs space to charge up that explosiveness, he also has a hard time elevating through traffic. If the defense can stay attached to him on his way towards the basket, the lift isn't really there. Look how Jalen Williams here is just going to sag back towards the paint. And as soon as Kaminga's momentum is stopped, there isn't much that he can offer in the paint.
Shea back on the floor for the Thunder.
And the thing is, I also don't think Jonathan has that much skill or strength in the lane. He'll often rush his pickup and throw up bad shots, or just stop on 2 feet and turn out for difficult fadeaways. Another big issue that Jonathan has when he's playing with the ball is that he's also not a very good passer. He's often late on making reads, doesn't have the pace to keep his dribble alive out of pick and roll, while also lacking the feel to scan the entire court. Look how he collapses the defense here on this drive, but that skip past the opposite wing just isn't in his passing arsenal. On this play, he has one of the best rim protectors rotating down towards the paint, and instead of looking to spray the ball out, he elects to force up this finish. Now to be fair, Kaminga in spots does have the ability to make the right play, but they are few and far between. And simply put, with where this game is at right now, I don't think Jonathan has the feel to warrant high usage out of pick and roll. And then on top of Jonathan having limitations as a passer and slasher, he's also not a reliable outside shooter. So far this year, he's shooting under 30% in the mid-range. And defensively, it is kind of easy to funnel him into these looks. You just have to put size and length on him to then sit back and pick and roll and isolations. And more often than not, he'll bail you out with these jumpers. And again, because the ball handling and physicality is limited, sometimes these are the best shots that he can get. And that inconsistent shooting also bleeds out to the 3-point line, where Kaminga is shooting exactly 32%. And whether he's playing on or off the ball, defenses are constantly sagging back and trying to bait him into these looks. Off this ball screen here in transition, look how much space the Cavs are giving him, and they're happy to let him set his feet for this uncontested jumper. Same thing here off the ball. Nobody picks him up on the perimeter, and he gets a wide open practice shot that's well off the mark. And the thing is, Kaminga not being able to pull the defense out with the shooting leads to him having to deal with a lot more bodies below the arc, which again makes it harder for him to build momentum towards the basket. So right now, as an on-ball creator, there's lots of things that Jonathan is missing. He's not a reliable shooter from 12 feet and out. He doesn't have the handle to cleanly break down the defense. He lacks the footwork and physicality to consistently finish in traffic. Plus, he's not a great passer. Now, granted, Kaminga is still 23, so some of this stuff can't be developed down the line. But the issue is Golden State is in win now mode. Curry, Butler, and Green are all in their mid to late 30s, so they need to maximize their roster's current strengths. But with where Kaminga's game is at right now, it doesn't make sense for him to be this ball-dominant, high-usage player. But the offensive issues for Kaminga don't stop there. Off the ball this year, I also think his activity has really died down. Again, like we've talked about, I think Kaminga has the tools to be a really good off-ball slasher. He's quick, long, and has the explosiveness to capitalize on momentum off the ball. But from the games that I've gone over, I've seen lots of standing around and ball watching. He's not actively reading the defense and looking to find cuts, or being a physical and engaged screener. Golden State on this play is initially looking to set up a split action, with Quinn Post operating with the ball in the corner. But look how Jonathan doesn't use this screen in any aggressive way, and he just kind of floats up towards the ball. And I'm sure him taking a standstill 3 is not the kind of shot that Steve Kerr wants. So lots of these off-ball issues come back to Kaminga wanting the ball in his hands more. To me, it doesn't look like he's being aggressive and really trying to seek out easy offense as a screener or cutter. And what's frustrating is that when Kaminga does cut off the ball, the results are typically very positive, and Golden State's spacing always leaves the lane open. But throughout the game, plays like this are few and far between. So when looking at Kaminga's game from a bird's eye view, I think the talent is for sure there, but I don't think he's totally bought into the way that Golden State wants him to play. If this team's fully healthy with Curry on the court, I think they want him to be a screener, cutter, and play finisher in the open court. But again, when looking at the film and stats, Kaminga again really wants the ball in his hands. But with where his game is at right now, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Overall, he's 23 and his game is still pretty raw. Sure, he could go to a bottom of the barrel team and rack up a bunch of points, but to really be the head of a legit playoff offense, he's got a long way to go. And what's really been the final nail in the coffin is that Kaminga's focus on defense has also been down. First, from a build and ability standpoint, Kaminga has the tools to be an elite defender. That blend of length and mobility allows him to both contain the ball on the perimeter, plus add an extra layer of resistance in the paint. And all those tools also make him really impactful off the ball, where he can slide down and protect the paint, to then rotate back out and contain the ball on the 3. But again, when really looking into it, I don't think Kaminga's defense has been sharp. He'll often get blown by on rotations, be a traffic cone and gap, plus not put his body in front of the ball when defending on the weak side. On this drive here, he should be rotating across to meet the ball, but he just gives up a wide open finish. On small things like rebounds and hustle plays, the effort has also been lackluster, where he often gets outworked for offensive rebounds and loose balls. So I think the combination of Kaminga having poor effort on defense and not buying into his role on offense pretty much sums up why his playing time has been up and down. And from his perspective, I do get it. You're a young player, and you want to develop and do more. But at the same time, the Warriors have won 4 championships in the past decade. And while the Curry era is coming to an end, there's still no doubt that his brand of basketball gives him the best chance to win. So sure, Kaminga could force his way out in the next 1 or 2 years and average a ton of points on a really bad team. But as a competitor, I don't get why that's better than having a lesser role on a championship contender.